Hey Scifiworld, I'm Corin Hardy, I'm the director of The Hallow, and I'm here in Sitges.
Well, in your presentation, you talk about movies like The Thing and 80s movies. Which ones were the main references to make The Hollow?
Well, I start by saying, as a child, seeing King Kong was really affecting because it was a monster movie, but it was really emotional as well. And I was about 4 or 5 years old, maybe 5 or 6. And then watching Ray Harryhausen's movies, I think there was something about seeing monsters represented as if they were real. They had a real character and a love behind them as well. So, and then I was really, my mind was blown by Evil Dead 2. It was just maybe a combination of the camera, the kinetic camera, and the crazy fun that happens in every second of the film, really. So then, Ridley Scott's Alien, The Thing, Exorcist, The Fly, Straw Dogs, Deliverance. There was these sort of 70s and 80s films, combination of, certainly with The Hallow, trying to make something that felt real, including the scenario and the cinematography and the performances, but then also had a fantastical element like a creature, but trying to make it exist in our world. Mm-hmm. So a film like Alien was so, well realised, designed, the biology and the look of it all was very inspiring. And The Thing was, still my favourite.
Yeah, your movie is not like Evil Dead 2, who is more like a comedy. It's more straight, and you get into the action very fast in the movie.
Yeah.
The characters, you don't need so much time to understand who are these characters. This was an intention of you to.
I wanted to tell a story which told you just enough, hopefully, to keep watching, be understanding and suggest who they are just enough, and I didn't want to bog it down with too much exposition. I wanted you to sort of get to know the characters just by the way they were acting together and behaving, and get a sense of who they were. And I think you're given enough details to take you into the story.
Mm-hmm. Well, you said also in the presentation that you are fond of practical effects.
Yeah.
How did you develop these effects? The creatures maybe reminds some of Stan Winston's work, maybe Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, I love Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, it has,
yeah.
And it also reminds me to that picture a little. So
of Pumpkinhead.
Yeah,
Cool,
a little.
Cool. Yeah.
So, were it difficult to create the effects? How was the process?
Yeah. It was always. I think first of all, as a sort of fan growing up as a child, sort of watching 80s films and before CGI, and they did some, these incredible, the American Werewolf in London transformation sequence, or The Exorcist Dick Smith makeup, or, Rick Baker was here and he gave an incredible masterclass, said things which were very, I feel very strongly about too, which is, it's not a case of just practical, just CG, it's creating an illusion on screen, and how the best way to do that as per the shot. So I would storyboard the sequences very detailed and design the creatures based on the narrative first and foremost, but then limiting myself by the restrictions of the budget and the time, as well as the story. I think you kind of, CGI is limitless, but it's not good to be limitless. To have limitations is a good thing, and to prepare to try and work within restrictions is good, because then you can push and make the maximum effect out of them. So I was always a fan of practical effects. I knew I wanted to try and do The Hallow as in camera as possible, but then also now with the ability to use visual effects to augment, tighten and paint things out. So it was a process, a very sort of detailed process of designing the creatures to how I wanted them to look, but based on a lot of pre-production auditions with actors. I wanted there to be humans behind the creatures to give that performance.
I have some curiosity about the process when a creator, a director in your case, is working as a lover of the practical effects. Is it because you like to enjoy the most of the process? Because if you are going to digital, the digital process, you can smell it, you can touch it, you can feel it, no? But in the 80s process, kind of thing, do you really fully inside of the process of the creation of the creator? You as a creator, as a director, what do you prefer the most? Because you want to live the full experience, or do you just don't like the CGI?
I mean, I love the process of creating things practically, and it's the only really way I know how. And I studied art and design and theatre design, which I did sculpture and trained in clay and mold making and animatronics and prosthetics. So I really enjoy the process. I think it's really. I wanted to do more of it. You know, if I had more time, I would have been even closer to it and done more myself. I did. Just while you're here. Yeah, I don't know if you. These are my.
All the process.
Yeah.
So you had an input in the creation of the.
I designed all the creatures. So this was.
Oh, great.
From storyboards and.
Oh.
You remind me a lot Guillermo del Toro.
I take that as a huge compliment.
Yes. Yeah. I will tell you after the interview a little story about Guillermo del Toro and his notebook, and you will laugh. But it is incredible.
Well, it was. So I'd start here, then have conversations with the special effects, the practical effects team, and then design the costumes, because we created costumes that could be puppeteered in camera by actors. So there was external limbs built, and animatronic faces. There was a mixture of techniques, and then we would plan to do the visual effects to get rid of like the arm or little moments, or put eyes in. So going back, it's one of my favorite. I think creating a world for the movie it was trying to create a fairy tale that was existing within the reality of our lives, and that was the challenge, and it felt right to do it practically because everything else was quite organic.
It's the funniest thing, why to lose it, no?
Yeah, exactly. And I just think as human beings, when we watch film, especially if the film is again trying to feel real and it's not stylized it's not a CG animation, it just felt if we can create monsters and put them in real bushes, light them with shadows, mist, then surely that's going to have more of an effect than nothing's there. And then we put a CG computer. How can, no matter how good the CG is, how can you make something that's going to be better than a human performance inside something that existed when you filmed it?
It helps a lot to the actors, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's curious because now there are like two types of directors. Directors who like the process of filming, and directors who like post-production only.
I know. I'm a big fan of both, but I think they have to exist together. But I definitely would prefer to be in the middle of nowhere in a field in the mud with some blood and and then do some effects afterwards than just standing in a green screen studio. It doesn't attract me to making a film like that.
Okay. And what's a hard shooting? Because I suppose that filming in the boots is not an easy, especially to lighting all the trees.
Yeah, no, it was a big challenge because it was an low-budget independent film. I was trying to be as ambitious as possible to create something that I wanted to sort of believe in. We wanted to do all of the night shoot for real at night. I didn't like the day for night stuff. So I was the cinematographer Martijn van Broekhuizen, who is a really talented and wonderful man, and we worked very hard to try and be as economic as possible to create light in forest and depth in using pockets of light, and again to sort of make the film feel real, but as it goes on it gradually becomes more and more of a fairy tale, so that by the end there has been like these colours come in, the flames and the look becomes slightly more stylized, but you know, it was difficult in the real locations. It was 5 different forests at night. The house itself was I looked at 100 houses. It was the only one that we could. It was cinematic. They had a sort of cinematic world to the house that you could get lost in, and also, the whole crew was in the house, and the actors.
So all in the house is real.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was two small studio builds, the attic and the basement.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
That's it.
Thanks.
We're going to have one more time back. The story